Previously on Forgotten Gear Restorations.
Here's your vintage repair tag from the Mesa Boogie Hollywood store. I used to live a few blocks away from there on Sunset when I first moved out here to California in pursuit of musical goodness. And this precise model and form factor was what I had in my apartment, and my neighbors just loved it. I later got a rack mount kit for this thing and slapped it in a portable rack case, along with a wireless and some other goodies. And that was my primary rig for a long time, and it never failed me. This is literally the only Boogie that I've owned that's never let me down. And I've got a sentimental attachment to these Mark IVs. This goes way back to high school, way back. But knowing what I know now, we all know that they've been designed and engineered in a not so sustainable manner. Lots of substandard parts, like 400 volt caps standing in a way of, 500 volts. It's just not a healthy environment for them. A lot of FETs that go awry in some of the newer models. I don't believe this one was designed with any FETs in the switching matrix. I think this one is literally relying on solely optocouplers. So we'll see. I need to get in there. I was doing a little bit of homework, so I guess I cheated a bit, pouring over a few schematics. And you want to find out what's in common between channel 1 and 2, since these are the two that are experiencing issues at the moment. And there are a couple places that we could start, but let's start off with just the bare amp. Let's see what happens when we try to switch on a rear panel. Let's rule out that foot switch. Back. All right, so we've got it plugged in. And I love that you still have all the old hang tags. And I can see the QC and then other inspection documentation here on the tag here on the power cord. I'll get a shot of that in a little bit. But very cool. Let's get her powered on. We'll go full power, keep her in standby mode. Let's switch the power on. And by the way, I was talking about the giveaway with one of my buddies. So there are two giveaways. One is specific to Instagram, and the other is obviously specific to YouTube. YouTube, you guys are getting the leg lamp. It's a nightlight, but the dudes on Instagram have access to this little guy, which is another nightlight, but this one features a 9-pin dual triode type design with a photo resistor on the front. And it just plugs right into your outlet, and once it senses that there's darkness, it's gonna turn on with varying degrees of brightness depending on the amount of lights. So pretty cool. If you're following on Instagram, then you can go and enter via the same method. But I had to do something there because my whole social media thing started there. And I don't know, there was some negligence on my part to forget that. I forgot where it came from in a way. But anyway, I hear the fan on. I don't see any lights here. Let's see what's up. I'm not looking at any lights here. Let's take standby off. Let's see if we have any sort of volume. Let's see. Yeah, we do. So we have 3 dim channel selection lights or indicators You can see them there around the 10 o'clock position. We have green, amber, and red. And I know that the rotary switch is over on this side. Let's see if we get it. Whoa. Oh, look at that. Rhythm. We have, whoa. Look at that. That's rhythm. Lead, clean. And then even, let's get that master down. I'm getting some illumination, some very dim illumination on the Rhythm 1 selector, or rather the Rhythm 1 LED, when it should just be in Rhythm 2. I just saw some flashing. Look at that as I tap. Now as I tap, this is the Italian hammer or golden hammer test, in a sense. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean much of anything. It's not technical. It's just something guys do. This is the first stage of troubleshooting. You tap on it. You smack it with the soft side of your hand. You're looking for little fissures in the circuit board, maybe a loose or intermittent connection. So I'm going to get into this thing. Let me free the chassis from the cabinet and then we'll get back in there. Bye. Get in there. And then they have the little shock mount system. And Angelo, I found this on your speaker magnet. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully nothing consequential. Interesting that it's the same. I bet Mesa Boogie, when they serviced it and they pulled your chassis, they lost this and they just replaced it with another chassis mounting bolt. So now you have an extra. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, huh? A little bit. A little bit. Come on, buddy. Get out of there. Forceps. That's why I always have forceps on hand. Yeah, so I don't know if it was Mike Benedelli or whoever had their grubby little fingers on this amp over at the Hollywood store. And Mike is awesome, by the way. I don't know where he is these days. He just kind of, the whole store, it's as though the thing was lifted from the earth, from the foundation, and just abducted by some UFO or something. They're gone. But then again, I've been out of the Mesa game for a long time, so who knows. And this is a very difficult part here because the ends of the preamp tubes are just a millimeter or so away from the speaker basket. So you want to be very careful. Oh, mama. It's what I thought. Vactrol hell. All right, we'll see what's up. All right, let me try to get a better angle here. Used to be able to work faster before I started trying to do all this camera stuff. That might be as good as it gets for you guys today. I think. Methinks. So, as you can see, it's just Vactrol hell in there. Got a chopstick. We have opto isolators stacked on top of opto isolators. Like there's 3. There's 2 stacks of 3 here. We have 1, 2 old, quote unquote, old fashioned relays sitting right here. Oh my God. We got a crusty looking ceramic cap here. Oh boy. So, got our work cut out for us. All that to say. But this is what the inside of your Mark IV looks like, if you're ever curious. Why would you be? This is not something you want to have to lift the board out of, for obvious reasons. You can technically loosen everything up on this control panel, maybe. Maybe disconnect some of these items from the chassis. But then you have the reverb wiring here going right to the PCB. This is not something you're just going to flip up and be able to service. So let's get in there. All right, so let's just run through the front control panel real quick. It's in lead mode. So we have a little bit of noise there. Let's go. We're going to check some voltages. So let's see. We're gonna see what's up. Is it nerve-wracking? Sure. Sure is. All right, Angelo and gang. Back from a bit of a bender with that Mesa Boogie Mark IV. I think it's a revision G, according to the circuit board. So, what have we covered so far? And what haven't I filmed? So I've gone through the high and low voltage supplies. There's 2 separate regulation systems in there. So you have a 5-volt system and a 12-volt system for some LEDs and switching. Some of the transistors in a switching matrix, and then the 12-volt would be for all the back trolls and everything. So healthy 5 and 12 volts so far. Main filters are okay. They're aged, but they're okay so far. I have not gone into any of the resistors within the preamp outside of what I just mentioned. So didn't check any of the cathode resistors, didn't check any of the plate loads or any of that stuff. I'm not concerned about that at this point if we can't get past this technical hurdle. So I'm going to take a break. I can't find any switching matrix schematics online for this particular Mesa Boogie Mark IV. I reached out to one of my friends on the Boogie board. I haven't been on that place for a long time. I'm going to see if I can get them to jump in and send me some documentation so I could start tracing out where this issue could possibly be. So far, I haven't seen any broken solder joints. There's a couple of chips that are running some parts of the switching matrix. I cannot test the health of those, so that would be a shotgun type thing. But right now, my money is on the Vactrols. So, given that these guys are stacked in groups of 3 in some cases and 2 in other cases within the switching matrix, It's going to be a bit of a bear to isolate these guys and test each one. So there's cramped quarters in there. Lifting the board, not really an option right now. But if it's one of those vac trolls, I shouldn't have to. However, access is an issue right now. So that's the thing. And that's always the thing with these boogies. Usually the wires are run so tight. You have to disconnect everything, desolder everything in order to gain access to the lower boards. And then in some amps, like the DC series, you literally have to gut the chassis to get to the business end of the PCBs, the main ones anyway. So I'll update you soon. I need to find and review some documentation before I can move forward with this. So hang in there. The lights are still on in the shop for you, and we'll be on top of it until then. Take care.